All right, here we go. We are live here on Steelers Talk. I am your host, Jack Sperry. Thank you to all of the real ones here on Steelers Talk Live that have showed up at the beginning of the show. Really do appreciate all 14 of you guys, or 35 of you guys now that are that are tuning in live to today's show. So, I'm going to bring on Jeremy Chuggs here in just a second, but first, I want to hear from you guys. Where are you guys watching from? I want to know where on the planet you guys are watching today's stream. I will give you guys some shout-outs here to get things going. I see Leo Rush in there. I see Matt Hyde going in there. John Meekins is here. Damian Roy's here. Jermo Boone is here. Kenneth Tuzinski is here. He's from Waterford, Pennsylvania. Damian Roy from Hillcrest Heights, Maryland. Steven is from Irvine, California. DK the Yinzer, what's up, my guy? He's from Mount Vernon, Ohio. The real famous Vaughn, North Carolina. John Meekins, Lexington Park, Maryland. Sam's from Fayetteville, North Carolina. David's from Florida. He's working today, watching the show during work. I love it, man. We got Afton, Harper, Kansas. All right, I like it. Cassie Voth on the couch. What's up, babe? My girlfriend tuning in today. Youngstown, Ohio for Larry. Vanessa Richardson, New London, Connecticut. Welcome into the show, Vanessa. Appreciate all of the real ones tuning in to the beginning of today's show. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, this week it is mandatory minicamp week, and the Steelers are practicing all throughout this week, trying to prepare for training camp. Coach Mike Tomlin is doing what he does best, which is get his football team ready for situational football and the start of the 2023 NFL season. So let me know what you guys think down in the chat right now. Which Steelers player has the most to prove in 2023? Let me know what you guys got down here in the chat. I need to hear this, guys. Who has the most to prove? Personally, I'm going to give you my answer here first. I think Kenny Pickett is probably the player that has a ton to prove. I think now he's got the defense. He's got the weapons around him. They improved the offensive line. It seems like Matt Canada is starting to get his shit together here on offense, which is really nice to see. And, he's 25 years old. So it's like you're kind of getting to the point, Kenny, where you need to start performing like a top quarterback in the National Football League or like a franchise quarterback. And I absolutely think he has the capability to do that, but the pressure is definitely on. Some other players that have a ton to prove this year: Diontae Johnson, 0 touchdown catches last year. He's trying to establish himself as a bona fide number one guy in the Steelers rotation, and I think he's got the talent to do it. It's just going to be a matter of can he get into the end zone more in 2023. And then Najee Harris as well, right? Over 1,000 yards over the last 2 seasons, which is nice to see from the number one running back here in Pittsburgh, but he definitely hasn't had that breakout star level season as of yet. A lot of people are expecting that out of Najee coming into the year, and I would agree with that. I think Najee Harris is somebody that's got a lot of power. He's very athletic, and I think he's going to have a very good 2023 campaign, especially because you have Jaylen Warren running behind him to keep him fresh throughout the season. I think Najee Harris is going to have a fantastic year, and he's going to earn himself a big second contract here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's see what you guys have to say. Kenneth says Matt Canada has a ton to prove. He's not a player, but he definitely has a ton to prove. As you'll see later on in today's show, I am going to be talking a lot about Matt Canada. So if you want to talk Matt Canada and the Steelers offense today is the show. Vanessa says number 8, 100% agree with you there. James says it's Harris's year. Definitely agree with that. Oh my goodness, we haven't even gotten to the super chat menu yet, and King Yinzer is already here. Anthony Fuller with a 50-piece.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Let's go, Anthony.
Let's go.
A 50-piece saying I'm finally out of the field. Oh my goodness. Anthony, congratulations, my friend. Thank you for your service, my man, and thank you for the 50-piece. You don't even know what you've won yet with that $50 super chat, man, but I guarantee you, I think you're going to like it today. Today's show is going to be a ton of fun. Of course, Anthony Fuller, one of the biggest super chatters here on Steelers Talk. Really do appreciate you, Anthony. So on today's show, we got some nice super chat items for you guys to kind of get. We've had some fun with these over the last couple of weeks.
That's 2 beans and a spin.
That's 2 beans and a spin. So $5, we're going to get a Here We Go Steelers chant. $10 is going to be, we're going to spinning the wheel for you. We got a bunch of different stuff on a wheel. We'll spin it for you guys. And you could get a Bean Boozled, but also $20 today. All right, $20. That's it. Automatic Bean Boozled. We did this last week. It was a ton of fun. We've got a brand new box of Bean Boozled jelly beans. So for every 20 we get today, you get to pick. Either Chuggs or I have to eat a bean. And
it's both of us now.
It's both of us.
If you want to pick mine,
all right.
I'll let you pick mine.
All right. So we will go with.
I think I saw some liver and onion or cappuccino at the top.
Yes. So this one is cappuccino or liver and onions. For Chuggs. Okay, and let's find one for me here. This one is either Tutti Frutti or I think it's
booger.
So Stinky Socks.
Oh.
I had the Stinky Socks one last week. It sucked. All right, Chuggs. Dude.
I'm on a roll of 9 straight bad beans. I've yet to get a good one.
Dude, I'm pretty sure they put like 90% bad beans in this pack just to screw with people. All right. Are you ready here, Chuggs?
I think so.
All right. 3, 2, 1. I got a good one. Let's go. I got getting the show off right for our producer, Jeremy Chuggs. Are you good, buddy? He doesn't like he doesn't like the liver and onions ones.
That's 10.
10 in a row for Jeremy Chuggs. Oh man, I feel bad for you, man. So,
dude,
Are you okay?
I just don't know what to say anymore.
Hey, remember the last week with the wheel when I had like 8 spins of the wheel in a row and it landed on my bean?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see how it goes today. We got one wheel spin as well for that 50 piece for you, Anthony. So let's spin that wheel for you real quick. Oh my goodness. I really don't want to have another bean because I feel like I've gotten lucky now. I've had one Tutti Frutti and I feel like I'm not going to get a good one for the rest of the day. I feel like I've just gotten my one done for the day. Oh.
And let me crop it up a little bit better, but I made a new wheel for us.
Oh, we got a new wheel today, Jeremy? Jeremy's been putting in the work.
It's a little black and gold action.
Let's go. I like it. All right, let's show this baby off. All right, King Yinzer, Anthony Fuller with the 50 piece. Let's spin that wheel, Jeremy. Oh, okay.
All right. Karaoke for me. Let's see. First person to super chat, any amount can choose my song. If we don't have anybody choose, I'll go ahead and choose the song.
Just go ahead and sing.
Yeah.
Sing something.
But let's see. Which Steeler player has the most to prove in 2023? What did you say again?
I said Kenny Pickett, but I think Diontae Johnson and Najee Harris have a ton to prove as well. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, I think it's more than that. I think I'm going to go a whole group. I'm going to say the entire Steelers linebacker group.
Okay.
Because I don't think
that's interesting.
I don't think there's any player in there that is safe beyond this year.
I would agree with that. We saw it last year, right? They brought in Miles Jack on a big contract, and one bad season, you're out. And Cole Holcomb, I'm excited about Cole Holcomb and Landon Roberts, and Mark Robinson is playing well in OTAs apparently. So I'm excited about the group. It's definitely the biggest weakness, I would say, on the Steelers' defense. But the defensive line secondary are great, so that's kind of easy. But I would be okay with. I'm okay with that answer. They definitely have a lot to prove this year. I don't think the linebackers are going to make or break the Steelers' defense. I think either way they're going to be really, really good this year on the defensive side of the ball. But I like that answer from you there, Jeremy Chuggs. All right, man. So on today's show, we got some great stuff lined up for you guys when it comes to all the segments that we've got today. I'm going to be going over the latest news coming out of Steelers minicamp. I'm also going to be going over Matt Canada and his offense. We're going to be having a community discussion on Matt Canada today, so make sure you put hashtag Canada in there today.
That's going to be pretty.
It's going to be pretty spicy today. You know, there's going to be some I hate Canadas in the chat today.
No way. I don't know anybody that's a Steelers fan that does not like Matt Canada. All my friends like Matt Canada.
You know what? I like Matt Canada and his offense from last year just as much as I like the Bean Boozled freaking jelly beans, dude. Like, sometimes it just makes me want to puke. It really does. But we'll be going over it today. If you have questions on Matt Canada, if you got comments and you want to get on today's show, use hashtag Canada. All right, so usually we do hashtag Steelers, use hashtag Canada to get your question on today's Q&A portion of today's live stream. And then also we got some trade candidates to go over, including Kevin Dotson. So Kevin Dotson is going to be on today's list of trade candidates. I got 3 other names that are currently on the Steelers that could be traded during the 2023 season. So make sure you stick around for that as well. It's going to be a great show, man. Let's talk a little bit more about the Steelers here. Okay, because I want to know from you guys, what is your confidence level in Matt Canada right now? Personally, for me, I'm at about somewhere in between a 6 and a 7, because Canada is somebody that in the past, his offense, let's just call it what it is. It was terrible. It was stuck in the past. It was very opposite of what all the great offenses that we see in today's game, right? We see all the crossing patterns, all the deep shots that teams are making. It was so many stop routes and short passing concepts. I just wanted to shoot something, not a person, but maybe a wall or something. I just wanted to lay off a little bit of steam, and it's just, he is just. Sometimes it was just so infuriating to watch last year. It was so, just to see him put the training wheels and the handcuffs on Kenny Pickett, not allowing him to audible, not allowing him to make adjustments at the line of scrimmage. There's a reason why the best quarterbacks in the league are allowed to do that stuff, because it works. Now, I understand Pickett was a rookie last year, but, at some point, he's got to know the offense. You got to throw him into the fire there, and, it just didn't work out on the offensive side of the ball. Now, with that being said, the offense does seem to be making strides this year. The offensive players are raving about Matt Canada and the improvements that he has made to this offense. So I'm super excited to see what they are going to do moving forward here. And I think that this offense will be much improved. So I'm optimistic about Canada, but I'm very cautiously optimistic. What do you think?
I think it's hard because, like you said, there's a rookie quarterback. There was a quarterback change. It started with Mitch, went to Kenny. And we don't see all the behind the scenes of, we're like, oh, well, he didn't let Pickett do anything at the line.
Yeah.
We've never really dove in, or we don't know. There's no way for us to know whether or not Pickett was even ready to make those calls at the line.
Yeah, that's true.
So, a lot of it is like, Pickett wasn't able to make calls at the line, and he wasn't able to do this. I don't know if Pickett was ready to do those things yet.
I would hope he would. He's 24.
I agree.
But I hear what you're saying, and it sounds like this year everything has changed. Like they have audible calls for him this year. There's hot routes involved when there's blitzing linebackers and such. So that's a good thing to hear, is that those adjustments have been made. Now the question is, how is Kenny Pickett going to adjust to those adjustments made by Matt Canada? Can he operate an NFL offense? We're going to find out this year.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the key, the adjustment to the adjustment.
And I didn't have the sticker ready, so I felt bad, but right here, so far, the King of the North.
King Yinzer, King of the North for today. So the way that the King of the North works, for those of you that don't know, largest super chat of the day is King of the North. So appreciate you, Anthony Fuller.
Anthony Fuller, he's been an MVP on the show multiple times.
Yes, he has.
The one thing he hasn't been a part of yet is our Steelers Talk Gold Club, which
that's right. That's something that you guys can get. I didn't even mention Gold Club when we went over the Super Chat menu. So if you get $100 total in Super Chat revenue here on today's show or any show, you get to join Steelers Talk Gold Club, which is a permanent club status here that we have at Steelers Talk.
They can't take it away from you.
For the true Yinzers here. Really do appreciate all the support. And let's give a little bit of a shout out to all of the Steelers Talk Gold Club members here in just a second. We'll be introducing some of our biggest super chatters.
Some of our newest members.
Yeah, some of our newest members as well. We added 2 members last week. How many members are we going to add this week? All right, so big shout out here to our Gold Club members here. Austin Tardif, Mo Love, Brian Love, Nathan Glass, and James Lombardo. $100 total for the entire stream will get you in this permanent club. And what does it get you? Guys, it gets you a Super Chat sticker every single time that you Super Chat, or anytime you comment, actually, and we put it up on screen. Lets everybody know that you are a member of Gold Club. We cannot take it away from you. Also, I'll give you a follow on Twitter, Instagram, all of your different social media platforms that you are currently using. And then also you get 3 free raffle tickets for every single raffle that we have here on Steelers Talk. So, I mean, if you join Steelers Talk Gold Club, you could be walking away with some free merch over the course of many years here, because you're automatically entered to win every single time we have a raffle. So I think that's a pretty darn good deal. So Anthony, man, you already have 50 in the pot. If you want to put in another 50 today and join Gold Club, I think it's right up your alley.
And Caleb, like I said, Anthony's been an MVP on multiple shows. He's done more than 100 on multiple shows. But we have to honor the Gold Club because we started it
a couple of weeks ago. Yeah,
I'm about to say a month ago.
Yeah, and Fuller was in the field. Yeah, because he's in the military, so he wasn't able to do those sorts of things. But we appreciate his support. If he wants to join Gold Club today, another 50 would end up doing it.
And he'll always be King Anthony.
And he's always King Yinzer. So even if he's not a part of Gold Club, he's always going to be King Yinzer. All right, so we're about to get into our first segment today, which is going to be the latest.
I owe the people something.
You owe the people something?
I owe them a karaoke.
That's right. All right, so which song you got today?
Yeah. You know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah. You know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah. You know what it is. Everything I do it big. Screaming, that's nothing. When I pulled off the lot, that's stunting. Repping in my town. When you see me, I know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from a whip to my diamonds. I'm in black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Round of applause for Jeremy Chuggs. The Pittsburgh classic, black and yellow.
It technically should be black and gold, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah, that's right. Black and yellow is pretty much every other Pittsburgh team except for the Steelers. Steelers are black and gold. So, all right. Coming up here, we are going to be getting into today's show, but first, make sure you click that thumbs up icon. I see all 61 of you guys in the chat right now. Make sure you get that like in there because it's a free and easy way to help out the stream. It's a free and easy way to help out the channel. Helps get more people in the chat here talking some Pittsburgh Steelers. So once we get to 30 likes, you're at 24 likes. Once we get to 30, we are going to start today's show. All right, guys, so get these things going. We got 27. Once we get to 30, we are going to start today's show, so click that thumbs up icon.
We're almost there. Whoa. Living on a prayer. Talking.
We're at 29. Who's going to be the 30th like? Come on now.
Who is it?
There we go. We got to 30. All right, so coming up here, we're going to have some news and rumors coming out of Steelers Minicamp. Going to be going over my takeaways from day one. And then also later on in today's show, Matt Canada, community discussion, and then trade candidates for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Chuggs, are we ready to get this first segment on the road here?
I'm ready.
Good? Okay, let's go.
Sorry, I was checking something. I thought I saw a Slack for me.
We're all good, man. All right, let's get into the Steelers news segment right now. Welcome in to Steelers Talk Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry, and today I'm going to be breaking down my takeaways after day one of Steelers mandatory minicamp. All right, so I'm going to be breaking down some players that are really doing well, some players maybe that aren't doing so well, and then also just my general takeaways after day one of minicamp here. But first, make sure you go down there and you make sure that you like today's video. Okay, so if you want Kenny Pickett to break out in 2023, go ahead, click that like button right now for me. I really do appreciate all the support. It's a free and easy way to help out the channel. It tells the YouTube algorithm to push our videos out to more Steelers fans like yourself. So if you want a free and easy way to help us out here, go ahead and click that thumbs up icon right now. So now let's get into my list of 4 takeaways after day one of minicamp practice. Number 1 on my list is that Kenny Pickett continues to shine. Throughout OTAs, he's been looking sharp, but apparently yesterday he had one of his best days at practice this offseason, and he is somebody that has done a really, really nice job at making the proper adjustments according to the people in the room. Apparently his pocket presence is much improved, which is something that I've been saying for months it's probably the number one thing Kenny Pickett needed to improve this offseason was his ability to step up in the pocket, get used to people around him, get used to playing in tight pockets, and it seems like he's making those proper adjustments. And then also yesterday, during the 2-minute drill period, he took the team down the field against the first team defense twice in a row for touchdowns. That is absolutely fantastic, given the way that we know the Steelers defense can get after quarterbacks, can get interceptions, and kind of shut teams down. I think the Steelers defense is going to be awesome this year, and Kenny Pickett scored on them in the 2-minute drill twice in a row in yesterday's practice, which is absolutely awesome to see. If you want to see my full breakdown of Kenny Pickett and what I think that he needs to improve going into next year, the strengths, his weaknesses, his full scouting report, you can find it here on the channel. I'm going to put the link to this video down in the comments and description of today's video. So now I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers go this season as far as Kenny Pickett will take them. I think Kenny has everything around him right now to really be successful. I think he's got an improved offensive line, so he shouldn't be pressured nearly as much. He's got some really, really good weapons to work with here. He's going to have a good run game, in my opinion, and then he's going to have an elite defense. There is no more excuses for Kenny Pickett. Now, last year, his rookie season, the numbers maybe weren't fantastic, but those were rookie numbers, okay? Now he's in his sophomore season. He's had a full offseason to work with his guys. There's no excuses heading into this year. He needs to prove this year that he is the franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and if he doesn't, it might be time to go look for a replacement in the offseason. But as far as I'm concerned, I think he's absolutely going to do it. I think by all the reports, he is doing a fantastic job, and he's going to have a great sophomore season this year. So let me know in the comments, will Kenny Pickett be a top 10 NFL quarterback this season? Will he make that splash in his sophomore year? Let me know by giving me a hell yes or a hell no down in the comment section. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever you get an ad break here, do me a favor, go down there, find that pinned comment, and answer today's question. Number 2 on my list of minicamp takeaways here is that the rookies are keeping focused here, and that the coaching staff is really just giving all these rookies that we drafted this year one job to do. They're not forcing them to learn multiple positions in this defense or offense right now. The Steelers and their coaching staff is really doing a good job at keeping these guys focused so that they can get their feet wet and get used to life in the National Football League. You take a look at the first 6 rookies taken by the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. Broderick Jones is working at left tackle, nowhere else. Joey Porter Jr. working on the outside with the cornerbacks. Keanu Benton is only working as nose tackle right now in practices. Darnell Washington, of course, is a tight end. Nick Herbig is only working out as an outside linebacker, not an inside linebacker like many projected when he got drafted. And then Corey Trice Jr. is also on the outside. The only exception to this is the interior offensive lineman the Steelers drafted in round 7, Spencer Anderson, who's been moving all over the line, and apparently he's been impressing, and it's looking like he's going to make the roster as kind of a swing offensive lineman because he's played all over the place on the offensive line throughout his playing career, and apparently he's holding up at multiple positions along the offensive line right now, so it certainly seems like he's going to be a very valuable backup and depth piece along the offensive line for the Steelers this year. So now, why is this smart? Why is it smart to put rookies in just one spot during OTAs, minicamp, and training camp before they even even play an NFL game, okay? Because it keeps them focused on one particular part of the defense, right? If you're learning multiple positions while you're learning a new defensive scheme, and then you're also playing against talent that is the most talented you've ever played against, it can be a lot for a rookie to put on his plate. But if you just have one position that you can really focus in on and you can really master, I think that's a really good strategy from the Pittsburgh Steelers coaching staff. So it seems like Keanu Benton, expect to see him at nose tackle this year, and then Nick Herbig, expect to see him exclusively as an outside linebacker, at least here in year one. Now, before I reveal the other two takeaways that I got from day one of mandatory minicamp, go ahead and get this awesome Steelers t-shirt combo that is currently on the Chat Sports website. It's for just $30, not each shirt, right? It's not $30 a pop here. It's $30 for the combo. I love that black shirt for the summer, then the long sleeve with the white. Perfect combo for summer. Perfect gift for Father's Day if you're kind of slacking in that department. Still need to get a gift. Just $30 for the pair of these shirts, guys. I think that's a great deal. If you think so too, go to chatsports.com/Steelers combo to take advantage of this deal right now. Number 3 on my list of takeaways here is that Hakeem Butler is showing flashes in practice, and he's starting to impress his teammates and coaches during minicamp here, where he's wearing 21 this year, which I think is kind of a weird number for kind of like a true X-receiver, but he's making splashes and he is impressing people, and it's looking like even though he's on a futures contract right now, and a lot of guys that are on futures deals just really don't end up making the final 53-man roster. They're usually either on the practice squad or they get cut outright by the end of training camp, but I really think Hakeem Butler has a shot to make this team as the backup X receiver. Now, we know George Pickens is probably, most definitely, going to be the number one guy in terms of the outside true deep threat receiver this year for the Pittsburgh Steelers down the boundary. But what if something happens to George Pickens? I think Hakeem Butler, he's even a little bit bigger than George is. He's got a similar skill set. He could come in, and I think he could give you some very solid reps at the X position. If George Pickens ends up going down, or if Pickens needs a break, Butler's a good blocker. He's very big. He made some splash plays in the XFL. He's one of the star players this spring. And then it looks like he's holding his own in Steelers practice, which is great to see. And I think he's got a great shot at making the final 53-man roster. So let me know what you think about Hakeem Butler. Will he make the final roster? And will he be a Pittsburgh Steeler when the Steelers play the 49ers week 1 at Acrisure Stadium? Let me know right now with an M if he's going to make the team or if you think he's going to get cut. Type C down there in the comments section. And to wrap things up here, my final takeaway is that you got to learn the name Rodney Williams. Okay, so Rodney Williams is kind of pretty much a fifth string tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. But apparently, he is doing a great job at making splash plays in practice. He made a really nice catch over the middle of the field yesterday, according to Zach Gentry. And everybody in that tight end room is kind of bringing this kid's name up when it comes to which guys showed out in practice, because he is somebody that did not play last year. He was brought on by the Denver Broncos, and he did not play in the NFL last year. But now the Steelers have brought him in, in this kind of packed tight end room, and he is starting to really make a name for himself, which is nice to see. You got to learn this kid's name because I think he's going to be a training camp gem. And although you got Pat Freiermuth, you got Darnell Washington, you got Hayward in there, and then of course Zach Gentry, you got a really packed room. So I'm not sure if the Steelers are really going to hold on to 5 tight ends, but I think Rodney Williams is doing a good job at this point to really say, hey, I know that I'm coming into a loaded tight end room right now, but you are going to learn my name. You are going to see that I have something to contribute to this team, and that I'm going to compete like hell to make the final 53-man roster. And I definitely think that there's a chance that he ends up making it here because he's a good player, okay? He's somebody that, he's coming out of UT Martin. And I think that he's a good receiving tight end. Is he as good as, say, Pat Freiermuth? I definitely don't think so. Will he make the final 53-man roster? I certainly can't guarantee that, but I think it's something you definitely need to keep your eye on moving forward. And I think he's going to be somebody that I'm going to be really watching closely once training camp comes around because, like I've said 100 times already, this is a stacked tight end room. There's no guarantees in the National Football League, but if you keep making plays and you keep impressing your teammates and your coaches and you keep and you keep taking advantage of the opportunities that you're given with the reps that you're given in practice, I mean, the coaching staff is going to have no choice but to consider keeping you on the final 53-man roster. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's show, man. I really do appreciate each and every real one that made it to the end of today's show. Make sure you click that subscribe button, because if you made it to the end of today's video, that means we must be doing something right. And guess what? We have videos on the channel every single day on your Pittsburgh Steelers, so never miss any of the action. We got you covered 24/7, 365 here on Steelers Talk, so click that subscribe button for me right now. All right. First segment in the bag, Jeremy.
Feeling good.
Feeling good. All right, so I see the question on screen right now is, what's the best summer dessert?
It's National Strawberry Shortcake Day. And whenever I think of strawberry shortcake, I think of more of like a spring summer dessert.
Oh,
right?
yeah. No one's having strawberry strawberry shortcake on Christmas. Like,
yeah.
That's nobody's Christmas dessert,
Yeah.
right? So I would tend to agree with that. I would probably go strawberry shortcake.
Best summer dessert?
I love strawberry shortcake, man. What do you have as yours?
Ooh, it's tough. Because, I mean, ice cream and stuff with ice cream is so high up there just because it's like summer. You know, like...
Are you just going to go with ice cream in general?
I think I might just... You know what? I think I'm going to go with an ice cream... what are they called?
Ice cream sandwiches?
Ice cream sandwiches.
Those are good. I do like ice cream sandwiches.
Ice cream sandwiches go so hard. Or drumstick.
I'm not as big into drumsticks as some other people, but they are good. I would rather have an ice cream sandwich than a drumstick, personally. Mm-hmm. But, like, I don't know. I really like me some butter pecan ice cream.
Dude, what I was telling you the other day from that Freddy's place.
We went to Freddy's last night.
Did they still have it, or was that like a limited time thing?
The what? The butter pecan?
No. The thing I was telling you about yesterday, the Nutter Butter.
Oh, no, they didn't have that. They didn't even have regular vanilla custard. They just had chocolate, which was kind of disappointing because I wanted vanilla. But anyway, man, I would have to say strawberry shortcake with like vanilla ice cream on the side. That's gas. That is a premium summer dessert.
Anthony says Jack Daniels, great summer dessert.
Anthony Fuller knows what's up, man.
Damian Roy says peach cobbler with French vanilla ice cream. Jonathan says cheesecake, and Cassie says ice cream always. I saw you go to the that Dalai Lama place.
Yes, we did go there. I didn't love it. Cassie loves it. It's kind of like a weird place. Like, they do a lot of weird ice cream.
Yeah.
And I just like basic stuff. Like, I just want like a scoop of regular ice cream. I don't need toasted marshmallows and like cereal and like all this different crap that they put in there to make it like cool or whatever. I just want like regular ice cream. Like, am I crazy for that? Like, does everybody else like those like weird flavors of ice cream? Let me know in the comment section. We're about to get into this Matt Canada discussion, where I'm going to be breaking down the offense from last year, the improvements that are supposedly being made, and then I'm going to take your questions and take your concerns, and I'm going to address those for you guys live here on the show. So if you got a concern, if you got a question, go #Canada down in the comments section.
Speaking of liquor and dessert, though, this past weekend, I had whiskey cake. Really good.
I think I've had that. I didn't love it.
Yeah. But you're not big on.
I'm happy you enjoyed it.
You're not big on liquor.
No, I'm not. I'm very much not a
whiskey
drinker.
cake. It was bomb.
I mean, like, I guess if you like are used to the taste of whiskey, and you know what it tastes like. Because I think when I ate it, I didn't really understand what like brown liquor tasted like, and I just like went into it thinking it was just going to be like sweet, and it was super bitter. Another 50-piece. Let's go.
We're not worthy.
We're not worthy. The newest member of Steelers Talk Gold Club, Anthony Fuller. Let's go, man. Woo! Show him the Gold Club sticker real quick so he knows what he's getting.
Can you give me a snap? There we
There
go.
we go.
There we go. Let's go.
Lifetime member, Anthony. Appreciate you, my man. You've always been one of the real ones here on the channel. It's about time. It's about time.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
Appreciate you, man.
Go.
Let's go, Anthony Fuller. Already $100 in today, man. I appreciate you.
Sperry, you know what that means.
What does that mean, Jeremy?
That's 2 more beans in a wheel.
Gosh darn it, Anthony. I love you, man, but I hate these. I hate these things. And I guarantee you I'm going to get a bad one. All right, so this one's mine.
Oh, you're looking for a bad one for me, huh?
You get the old bandage one.
No.
Yeah. So last
All
time,
right, my streak's got to end at some point, right?
so for Jeremy's, it's either old bandage or pomegranate. And then for me, it's juicy pear or booger. Okay, I'm not looking forward to this because I know I got lucky last time. There's no way I'm getting a good one here, man.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready. 1, 2, 3. Oh.
I got an okay one.
I'm finishing it for you, Anthony. This is fucking disgusting.
Let's go.
Did you get a good one?
I got a good one.
Your streak finally ended.
Let's go.
Dude, booger is one of the worst ones. That's awful.
Stinky socks, barf, and
I haven't had barf yet.
dead fish.
I haven't had dead fish either. Oh, booger was bad though. Like old bandage was definitely the worst by far so far for me. I could at least like chew booger a little bit,
Dude,
but that was disgusting.
Dead fish is pretty gnarly.
I bet it tastes like a dead fish. It's like a dead walleye.
All right. Oh, yeah.
All right, let's see what we got here. Anthony, what'd you win? No!
Let's go! No! Let's go!
How does this keep happening?
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
There's no way. All right, let's see. All right, so you did the liver and onions one earlier. I'm going to have to do it again. Oh, dude, my mouth still tastes like boogers. Now it's going to taste like liver and onions and boogers.
Oh, my God.
Anthony, I love you, man, but I hate you. Oh, all right, here we go. Oh, it's bad.
Oh, my God. That never gets old.
Dude, I'm making a commitment today that that I'm finishing every single one today. Okay, down the hatch. Oh.
Oh, my God.
That was... Oh, dude, you said the liver and onions was bad.
Dude,
I didn't understand.
It's bad.
I didn't understand how bad it was until now, bro.
Reminder, just like Young Noticeable is down there, use hashtag Canada. We're about to do a discussion on Matt Canada and answer your questions.
Dude, I really regret doing the bead for $20 today. But hey, we're keeping it. Every $20 we get today, we're doing another bead.
And we added another member to the Gold Club.
Already? Who's next? Who wants to join the Gold Club next, man?
Anthony Fuller, they can never take it away from you.
God, I wish I had some mints or something, man. All right, coming up here, we got that Matt Canada discussion. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a spicy one. I know there's going to be some haters down in the chat, probably including me.
What's better, liver and onions or Matt Canada's offense?
Last year, the liver and onions bean was better than Matt Canada's offense. That's how bad that offense was last year. I'm telling you, man. As someone that watches a lot of football and a lot of film, It's like you're watching a bad college offense when you watch Matt Canada's offense last year. It was so bad. All right, but we're going to get into it here in just a second. Do we have enough questions?
I think we do.
All right, sounds good. We're going to get into this Matt Canada Steelers Talk Live community discussion right now. Welcome in to Steelers Talk Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry, your host, and today we as a community here at Steelers Talk, we're going to be talking about offensive coordinator Matt Canada and what he's going to be bringing to the table for the black and gold heading into the 2023 season. I'm going to be breaking down his 2022 stats for the offense last year and then the supposed improvements that he could be making here heading into the 2023 season. But first, be honest with me now. What's your confidence level in Matt Canada? Put it on a scale of 1 to 10 for me down in the comments section. I know there's going to be some pretty low numbers here, but over the course of the video, maybe that number will change. All right, so first let's go over the numbers from 2022. Let's break down the facts of the matter. Okay, so overall in 2022, this is where the Steelers ranked in just about most of the major offensive categories. 26th in points at 308, 27th in yards per play at 4.9, 19th in drive success rate, which is a Sabre metric, number 7 in third down efficiency, and then number 20. Then they were 23rd in red zone efficiency at 51.9. So that's not great, but then we need to put this in the context a little bit that the offense did get better over the course of the second half of the year. This is when the Steelers made their playoff push last year, and they were number 19 in points at 20.8, 16th in yards per game, tied for 23rd in yards per play, and then number 1 in third down efficiency and 16th in red zone efficiency. Also, all these numbers were better in the second half of the season. The first half of last year was one of the worst offenses I've ever seen in the National Football League as an NFL analyst. It was that bad. There's no modern elements to this offense whatsoever, and that was definitely something that held this offense down in 2022. And even when things got better in the second half of the season, it's still not great. You like to see the number 1 in the third down efficiency category, but in all these other ones, they're still below average. So how can the Steelers make those improvements? Coming up here, I'm going to list the things that I hated about Canada's 2022 offense that he needs to fix if the Steelers are going to be successful on the offensive side of the ball here in 2023. But first, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Will the Steelers have a top 15 offense for this season? Let me know by giving me a yes or a no. Will they be above average, top 15 in the National Football League here in 2023? This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So here's what's going to happen. YouTube is about to throw you an ad break. Take advantage of that time right now by answering yes or no down in the comments. All right, so the first thing that I hated about Matt Canada's offense last year is that he always ran into stacked boxes. So if you don't know what a stacked box means, that means you have a numbers disadvantage in the box. So the defense has more people towards or around the line of scrimmage than the offense has blockers. And when it came to those situations and running the football, Matt Canada ran into those disadvantaged situations at a top 5 rate. 191 times, the Steelers ran it into a defense with a numbers disadvantage, which was the 5th highest in the National Football League last season. That is something that you just don't really want to see happen, because when you're running the football, you want to have a numbers advantage or at least be even in the box so there's not a free defender to go out and attack your running back. And I think given this circumstance, Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris actually had a pretty good season last year. If you're taking into account that 191 times last year, they were running at a disadvantage in terms of the numbers game, and that's just absolutely just despicable by Matt Canada. There's no way that should be happening. Now, a big reason why this happened, in my opinion, is because Kenny Pickett did not have the freedom at the line of scrimmage to call audibles, to get out of the play when they were in disadvantaged situations like that. Kenny Pickett just simply got the play and he had to run it. He had no freedom whatsoever to change the play, and that's just not going to work, right? The best offenses in the National Football League. Look at Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. They have been doing it forever. Peyton Manning, when he was in the league, he was the best at it. He could diagnose a defense and he could change the play to completely dissect them. The best offenses ever do something like that, where they have a quarterback that has freedom at the line of scrimmage to change plays, to call audibles, to do different things, to move wide receivers around. And last year, Matt Canada gave the rookie quarterback None of that freedom. And that really hampered what the Steelers could do, because if the defense came out in an advantageous look, Kenny Pickett couldn't do anything about it. He couldn't make it a better situation for the offense. And that's absolutely something that just can't be tolerated this year. And Kenny Pickett absolutely needs to have more control at the line of scrimmage this year if the Steelers are going to be successful. Now, another thing that I hated about Matt Canada's offense is that there wasn't enough variability. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that when they were in certain formations, they were running a certain play. And defenses knew it. There were multiple times last year where opposing players said, if they were in this formation, we knew they were running this sort of play, whether it be inside zone, outside zone, whatever it may have been. If they were in a certain formation, they were running a play, because every time they were in that formation on film, they ran that play. Now, the best coordinators and play callers in the National Football League, Kyle Shanahan, Josh McDaniels, as a coordinator I'm talking about here, the guys that do this really, really well, they run multiple plays out of all of their formations, so defenses have no idea what's coming. They keep them on their toes. They keep them honest. And Matt Canada just simply did not do that last year enough to keep defenses honest, and we saw that reflected in the numbers that I just showed you earlier in the show. And then finally, the last thing that I hated about the offense last year is that there was way too many stop routes. Now, what do I mean by stop routes? Those are like comebacks, curls, routes where the wide receiver is stopped when they are catching the football, right? Modern offenses, many people know this, every modern offense incorporates deep crossing routes where the receivers are catching the ball in stride and in the middle of the field to get yards after the catch, right? Because it's not just enough to get a completion. You want yards after the catch, but if you're completely turning your back to the defense as a wide receiver and you're catching it, the ability to get extra yardage after the catch goes down dramatically. And Matt Canada's offense probably led the National Football League last year in these types of routes. I mean, it was what he was used to. He was used to out routes going out towards the sideline. They ran, I can't even count how many times they ran comeback routes to the left side of the field last year. It was a joke, okay? They need more deep crossing routes this year if they want to be successful, because, yards after the catch last year, I think the Steelers were like dead last or close to last year. That can't happen again, especially when you got guys like Diontae Johnson and Calvin Austin III that are fantastic after the catch. So now the good news here, okay? So we've gone over kind of the bad news and the things that I didn't like. But the good news coming out of Steelers minicamp and OTAs right now is that players are loving this offense. Okay, apparently it's a brand new offense that Matt Canada has brought to the table. Kenny Pickett has all this freedom at the line of scrimmage, which is good. And then also apparently they have more crossing routes this year, incorporating some of more of these modern elements into their offense. So everything that I'm saying here that needed to be improved, at least according to the reports coming out of camp, is that those things are actually being worked on, which is great news to hear heading into Kenny Pickett's second year. And let me tell you, man, this is going to be a big year for Kenny Pickett. Now, Matt Canada spoke to the media today at mandatory minicamp, and this is what he had to say about the offensive identity of his offense. I think our identity was pretty clear the last 9 games. We ran the ball really well. We were physical. You saw who we drafted, who we acquired. I don't think there's any question about what our identity is going to be. I think we want to run the football. We want to be physical. We want to be a good team that throws the ball down the field and take advantage of what the defense gives us. And so I think our identity has been well known and will stay at where we're at. Now, I absolutely agree with what Matt Canada is saying here, and I think it's good what he is saying there. I think that this offense will make improvements this year. I'm going into this year cautiously optimistic about what Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett and the rest of the crew are going to be able to do. It seems like that they're incorporating the elements that they needed to incorporate, and I'm going into this year with an open mind about offensive coordinator Matt Canada. So coming up here, I'm going to be taking your questions on the Steelers offensive coordinator, but first, is it playoffs or bust for Matt Canada this season? Would you bring him back if they had, say, another 9-8 season and missed the playoffs? Type 1 for yes or type 0 for no. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. All right, so now let's get into the discussion portion of this here, starting with Anthony Fuller, King Yinzer. If Kenny takes a year to leap, does Canada keep his job? 100% yes. I think it kind of depends on the type of leap that Kenny takes. Like if he's top 20 in the league, then maybe he doesn't keep his job. But if he really takes a leap and goes into like top 15, top 10 category where he's a bona fide franchise quarterback, absolutely. Matt Canada's keeping his job. He's going to be sticking around. Then we got Zion Peterson here saying, do you think Canada and his terrible red zone offense can be saved with better O-line and a healthy Najee Harris? So I think that the red zone offense will get better this season. A crazy statistic last year actually is that Steelers wide receivers last year only had 5 total touchdowns, period. 4 of them went to George Pickens. 1 of them went to Chase Claypool. I mean, come on, that's got to improve drastically this year. We can't have a wide receiver core with just 5 receiving touchdowns. Okay, I think Pickens is going to have quite a few, probably in the double digits, I'm hoping. And then Diontae Johnson will probably be around that range as well. I do believe Diontae will have a nice bounce-back season this year. And I think Kenny is going to be much improved in the red zone this year. He just wasn't really comfortable in those condensed areas last year. Just the fact of the matter with Kenny last year, but I'm hoping that this year he gets a little bit more comfortable in those condensed areas because in the red zone, the windows are even tighter than they normally are on the field. He's going to have to get better in that regard in order for the red zone offense to get better, but I definitely have the optimism to say that it will be much, much better in 2023. Then we got a question from GM Evan Hinders here saying, Canada, I think if Canada don't improve this season, I want Todd Haley to return. Hell freaking no, GM Evan Hinders. No way. Todd Haley, right now, if he were to come in, he would have one of the most regressive, old school type of offenses that there is in the National Football League right now. There's a reason why multiple stops since he left the Pittsburgh Steelers have been complete train wrecks. I mean, just look at the Cleveland Browns offense when he was there. I mean, it was terrible. There's no way around it. He's somebody that completely lives in the past. He has not modernized his offense. And if we're going from Matt Canada to another guy that has not modernized his offense in Todd Haley, I think you just move backwards and you're not really moving forwards. Then you got Jonathan Harvey here. Says he's screwed with Ben's creativity and carried that to Mitch and Kenny's adjustments. So when Ben was here in Pittsburgh, he did have the ability to make audibles and hot routes and all these different things in the offense. So he did have a little bit more creativity than Kenny did, but it wasn't a whole bunch. It wasn't as much as when he was with, say, Bruce Arians, for example. But Mitch and Kenny had nothing last year. They had nothing. It was Matt Canada's offense. You're running what I'm telling you to run, period, point blank, period. And this year it seems to be changing, which is something I'm very optimistic about. Then we got Young Noticeable 25 here, one of the real ones here at Steelers Talk, saying, do you truly believe his end-of-year performance earned him his job back? Personally, I would have fired him. That would have been my decision, okay? The offense was not good even when the team was winning, right? They were still below average, okay? So I would have brought in somebody new, somebody that I knew would have incorporated some of these modern elements to NFL offense, someone from maybe a McVay or a Shanahan tree, a West Coast system is what I really, really would have liked. But I will say this, Matt Canada has made the adjustments, or at least I think he has, to maybe, prove us wrong this year. Prove that last year was kind of just a flash in the pan, really, really bad season. But, he's changed his ways. It's made him realize that he needs to evolve and change his offense. And then who knows, maybe the Steelers will have a really good offense this year. So now we got Zion Peterson again here saying, do you think Canada will get Kenny rolling and running more often? He had some sneaky wheels. Yes, Kenny, he's not an elite runner, but he's definitely a serviceable runner, a plus runner as a quarterback. I don't think you're going to be doing any designed quarterback runs with Kenny. He's just not that gifted as an athlete. If you leave him alone, he can get you some yards. He's crafty in that way, but if you're not running read zone. You're not reading read zone option with Kenny Pickett. That's just the way it is. He's not that dynamic of an athlete. I think that Kenny, he added some weight this year. He might be even a little bit slower than he was last year. So I guess we'll see how Kenny adjusts to the new weight this year. But I think that Kenny's focus this year is definitely going to be improving from within the pocket, because if he does that, he's going to be a franchise quarterback here in Pittsburgh. Then we got Damian Roy coming in here, says needs to open the playbook like Moses open the Red Sea. Yes, sir. I mean, last year they just didn't run a whole lot of plays, right? There wasn't a whole lot of variance in their sets, like I said earlier in the show. Defenses knew what the Steelers were running just based on the formation that they were in. There is no way an NFL offense should be that darn vanilla and basic and old school and all these different things that Canada's offense was last year. And, it sounds to me Like, the offense has certainly expanded this year. Kenny Pickett and a bunch of other players during OTA said, we're doing a great job installing plays. We're already way ahead of where we were last year. And that's definitely a good sign heading into the 2023 season, in my opinion. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for today's show. I appreciate all the people that submitted their questions for today's Matt Canada discussion. I hope you learned a little bit something about the Steelers offense, maybe a little bit of something about football. And if you made it to the end of today's show and you are a Steelers Talk Real One, type Real One in all caps down there in the comment section to let me know that you made it to the end. Oh, Daryl coming in here.
Let's go.
Daryl Oglesby with a $20 super chat. By the way, Daryl, you're not a member of Steelers Talk Gold Club yet, my friend. You're here just about every single week. I mean, if you want to become an immortal member of Steelers Talk Gold Club, another $80. Man.
Wait, I just realized $20.
Daryl, who do you want to eat the bean, man?
Or do you want 2 wheel spins?
Yeah, so 2 wheel spins, or who do you want to eat the bean? Let us know down in the chat, Daryl.
We'll answer your question while we wait for your response.
Do you think Darnell Washington will play sometime this year? So I think it's safe to assume that what I want to say here is to temper your expectations on Darnell Washington, particularly in the receiving game. Okay, because tight ends, they take a while. They really do. And it seems to me like Darnell is...
Gronk only had like 500 yards his first season.
Yeah, that's right. Kyle Pitts has gotten off to kind of a slow start, and everybody thought he would be the one exception. Turns out he wasn't. And, I'm looking at Darnell, and he's got all the talent in the world to grow. But apparently, it's taking him a while to learn the playbook. Apparently, he's not practicing particularly amazingly right now.
Don't say that.
So, what's that?
So, Damian, don't say that. Y'all don't say that. Y'all don't need to say that.
Yeah, Damian. Yes, Chuggs.
We'll let Daryl decide.
We'll let Daryl decide. But on Darnell, I think this season he's going to be more as a blocking tight end. And, he might be coming in on those 12 personnel packages, early downs. But I want people to temper their expectations, at least for year one, when it comes to Darnell, because he's not going to be an amazing receiver. He wasn't an amazing receiver in college. He showed flashes, but he's still got a little ways to go in that category. Hopefully 2 to 3 years down the road, he is an amazing receiver.
And the crazy thing is, kind of like in this Steelers offense where he's obviously at least the number 2 behind Freiermuth.
Well, right now, I would say
he's 3 behind Gentry and Freiermuth.
Yeah, I would say Gentry is above him right now. And he has to overtake Gentry.
Even in college, he was the clear number 2 at Georgia behind Bowers.
Behind Bowers, that's right. And that's absolutely right. I mean, Darnell was used primarily as a blocker at Georgia. Like, that was his thing. And I think that the Steelers drafted him for that purpose. For this season, he's going to be a blocker. He's not going to be much of a receiving weapon this year.
And you know what? I wish we had a more creative offensive coordinator. Because you know what I was thinking earlier today?
What's up?
Like earlier in this, minicamp process.
Sure.
Is, they have Connor Hayward, who kind of flips back from fullback to tight end.
He has not played fullback yet. He played tight end exclusively, but he might play fullback this year.
But they flirted with the idea of him playing fullback. Yeah. Think about the idea of, the identity of the Steelers. They want to be a smash mouth team.
Yep.
If they could bring in almost like a full house package where it's like 2 fullbacks, it's
2 running backs. Hayward at the fullback.
Well, no, I'm saying it's Hayward on one side, Darnell on the other, and then in the middle, it's Najee Harris. You could go either way.
Oh, my gosh.
Running either way.
Seriously, with the amount of blockers, with the kind of versatile guys that they got, like with Connor and with Darnell, if Darnell turns into a really good receiver, you could run some really dangerous stuff.
Having it where maybe instead of a tackle, instead of a guard pulling, you have your tight end Darnell Washington pulling down the line.
Oh, my gosh, dude. He could blow some people
That's
up.
what I'm saying.
I would love that.
If you had a more creative offensive coordinator to not even in the passing game, but more creative run plays, I think that would be so much fun with Darnell Washington.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Different ways for him to block, different crackback blocks that he can
13 personnel. I like it. And I don't hate it, Chuggs.
Almost like where it's like, my high school or my middle school, we ran the traditional triple option.
Yeah.
Where it's quarterback, fullback behind and then 2 running backs on the wing.
Yep.
Almost some variance of that where, oh, Daryl, why'd you do that?
Yeah! Yeah, Daryl! Type the Daryls in the chat. Daryl. And let's go!
And I'm not advocating for them to, kind of like Georgia Tech does, I'm not advocating for them to do the triple option like that.
Old bandage again?
Pick a different one. Pick a different one.
Okay. No old bandage.
I got the good one last time with an old bandage. I know that one's a bad one.
The old bandage one is gnarly. All right, he gets the booger one this time.
It's booger or what else?
Booger or juicy pear.
All right.
Daryl. Let's go. Let's go, my man. I love it. All right, Chuggs. Oh my, dude, these things suck. I hate this so much.
Hey, babe, what did you do at work today? Oh,
Yeah.
I ate some shitty jelly. All right.
We have the best job in the world, man.
All right.
Except when we're eating jelly beans. That it's, oh no. Oh, poor Chuggs, man. Oh.
Oh my God.
That's bad, dude. I told you it was bad. Oh. This is now the 3rd time Jeremy Chuggs has thrown up on the show, dude, because of a bad one.
I can't do what you do. I can't finish them.
Dude, it was really hard for me to finish the liver and onions one. I'm not gonna lie, dude. It was. These things suck. Ugh.
Dude, I can't.
Dude, I feel for you right now. I really do.
It's just like a react. I literally.
Yeah, it's
cannot.
literally like gag reflex once it
literally
hits the tongue. All right, man.
Dude, my water.
We've got one more segment.
I need my water. I'll be right back.
Go get your water.
Y'all can talk about this.
All right. So let's talk about this for a little bit here. We got 4 trade candidates for the Steelers coming up here in just a sec. But first, will the Steelers have a top 15 offense next year? Give me a yes or a no. I want to talk about this with you guys. I personally think it's going to be between that 15 and 10 range. I don't think it's going to be like elite. I don't think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be good enough to get W's, and I think that's all that really matters. I think the defense is going to be elite. I think the run game is going to be able to control the clock. I think Kenny Pickett in those close games is going to be able to pull out a couple of those wins close, because I think this kid's turning into a 2-minute drill machine. I mean, he scored twice against the Steelers defense in 2-minute drill yesterday, and the Steelers defense is going to be one of the best in the league. So I'm super excited to see what this team's going to be able to do. I think they're going to win a lot of close games against good teams. I think they'll probably be around 13 wins, 12 wins, somewhere in there. And if that's not good enough to win the AFC North, it's for sure a wild card berth. So I think that's certainly good. Zion says, no, we won't. It'll be late teens. That's a fair point. That's a fair take. You know, if Kenny Pickett isn't that good, I could certainly see it not being top 15. Damien says, Chuggs, I can smell it through my phone. Yeah, this studio kind of stinks right now, man. I'm not gonna. You should maybe get rid of that garbage, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, we're almost done. We just got one more seg to go here. Trade. So
I had to wash my mouth out.
All right, so tell me this, Chuggs. We just discussed it. I gave my take on this here. Will the Steelers have a top 15 offense this season? Yes or no? It's a good question because they're going to be somewhere around that range, I think.
Yeah, it's hard because I could see them being, ceiling 6, 7, 8 best offense. Floor 22, 23.
Yeah, like it was last year.
So,
if
I don't see them being a top 5 offense. At the same time, I don't see them being a top or a bottom 5 offense.
Yeah, there's just too much talent here, I would think. Diontae Johnson's always open. George Pickens with his 50-50 ball ability. Pat Freiermuth is so underrated as a receiving tight end. Offensive line has improved. Najee and Warren are both healthy and playing great in practices. Like, there's no way this offense should suck.
And
so if it does suck, it's on Canada.
I'm impartial. I used to play offensive line. I'm impartial to good offensive lines, and I love that the Steelers saw that their offensive line was weak last year, and they said, we need to fix this.
Yep.
They go out, they sign Isaac Seumalo. They go out and they sign Nate Herbig, right?
Yes, Nate Herbig. He's gonna be a rotational piece this year, but still, he's a starting capable player in case someone gets hurt.
They spend their very first pick in the draft on Broderick Jones.
Oh, he's going to be an awesome run blocker.
And then they also double dip and they get Spencer Anderson at the end of the draft.
Yeah, and Spencer's been one of those like nice surprises in camp.
Yeah.
Like he was kind of supposed to be like a fringe kind of guy, but apparently he's like solidified his spot.
Well,
as like a swing interior offensive lineman.
Interior offensive line wasn't a heavily picked over position, especially in the first couple rounds of the draft.
Yeah, that's right. That's 100% correct.
I think it's very possible, Spencer Anderson found his way. Not a lot of teams were, clamoring for inside offensive linemen in this draft. Like, we saw a lot of really good centers fall in the draft. We saw John Michael Schmitz fall.
John Michael Schmitz was my number one center, and he fell all the way to like third round to the Giants?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
So it's like you could, picking interior offensive line later in the draft was great value this year.
Yeah, I had Spencer Anderson as a 5th round guy this year. I had a 5th round grade on Spencer. And they got him in the 7th. Like every single
Corey
pick.
Trice.
Dude, Corey Trice, apparently he could be a starter. He could be a starter this year. It is a 7th round rookie.
Why did he fall so hard?
The medical stuff. He had some issues, I believe, with his knee. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but dude, the guy can ball. The dude's a baller. He's a perfect fit for this defense with all the press that they like to run here.
When I was watching the draft and I saw 6th round Corey Trice, I was like, dude, whoever gets him in here is going to be a steal in the 6th round.
I was thinking the same exact thing, and then
he wasn't chosen.
And then I see Corey Trice's name come across the chyron there for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm literally running all over the office here, and I'm rubbing it in our Giants host Marshall Green's face because he wanted him so bad as well for his Giants, and we ended up getting him in the 7th.
That was.
It's just like every single pick Khan made this year was like, that's a great value, that's a great value, that's a great value, that's a good move. Like Omar Khan absolutely killed the draft this year, and Mel Kiper Jr. giving them a B+. Well, my gosh. Mel Kiper's done, dude.
He basically gave everybody a B.
I think he gave 2 teams an A. And the reasoning for not giving the Steelers an A on their draft class was because they didn't have enough picks. That is a stupid reason to not give a team an A. Seriously. You only picked 7 players, so that's not, you can't give it an A. Screw you, Mel, man.
It's like you signed Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Donald in free agency, and they're like, well, you only signed 2 players.
You only signed 2 guys. I'm sorry.
I don't know what to tell you. You literally only signed the best quarterback and best interior defensive lineman in the NFL.
I mean, just every single pick, man. You trade up for your left tackle, then you get your number 1 cornerback, then you get a nose tackle, then you get an awesome tight end of the future, and then you get an outside linebacker that you needed a rotational piece for, and then you get Corey Trice Jr. in the 7th, and then you get a good depth offensive line piece.
He's the con artist.
He's the con artist. There was another one that I heard. I can't remember it now, but there was another one that was really, really good. I can't remember what it was, though. All right, man. So we got one more segment for you guys today. It's going to be some trade candidates, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 4 players that I think could be on their way out, whether before the season or before the trade deadline. There's a couple of caveats in some on today's list, but it's going to be caveats. But it's going to be an interesting list. All right, man. Are we ready to get things going here with segment number 3, Chuggs? All right, man. Keep sending in those supers. We'll keep doing the freaking beans as long as you send them in. But, I mean, I think we might have to up the price because 20 is a little low, I think. But, hey, today, that's the price that we set. That's what it's staying at. So take advantage of it while it's still $20 because these things are terrible. All right, man. Let's get into segment number 3 today with Steelers trade candidates. Welcome in to Steelers Talk, Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry, and on today's show, I'm going to be revealing my list of 4 Steelers trade candidates that the Steelers could send away here either before or during the 2023 NFL season. Can't wait to share today's list with you guys, but first, join the family and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We got daily Steelers news and rumors videos covering OTAs, minicamp, training camp, all the way leading up to week 1 of the 2023 season, where we're going to have live coverage of all 17 regular season games for your Pittsburgh Steelers via our live watch parties. You're not going to want to miss it. If you want to enhance your Steelers fan experience here on YouTube, click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss any of our free content that we put out every single day. All right, now we get to my list of trade candidates, and I've got Kevin Dotson first on my list here because I'm not exactly sure he wants to be a Pittsburgh Steeler right now. Of course, he started at left guard for your Steelers last year. Lots of people did not like the play that he had. 65.4 Pro Football Focus grade isn't bad. It was good for 30th out of 77 interior offensive linemen that were eligible to be graded last year, which is pretty decent. It's about average, but he's had some comments here after the Steelers signed Isaac Seumalo and Nate Herbig and all these other players that are going to be playing over Dotson this year. He's made some comments indicating that he wouldn't mind a fresh start and an opportunity to play somewhere else. And then also Coach Tomlin during OTAs threw him out of a drill for low effort. So it just seems like he's a hostage at this point, not a volunteer. And Mike Tomlin doesn't really like those players to be in the locker room. So it wouldn't surprise me if they end up cutting him. They could absolutely save some money by cutting him. But also, if they can package him in for a trade, I think that's something the Steelers would absolutely do. And if they want to keep him as depth, I would absolutely be okay with that as well. Having good depth along the offensive line is definitely something the Steelers have prioritized. But, the value on Dotson right now, it's not high, okay? He plays a low-value position, and he's arguably a below-average starting capable player. So you take those two things into account, and he's worth maybe a 7th-round pick. Now, would anybody be a sucker enough to give up a 7th-round pick for Kevin Dotson? I personally don't think so. He's a below-average starter, like I said, at a low-value position, interior offensive line. And I think it's more likely that he's going to end up being somebody that gets packaged in for a trade for maybe like an Isaiah Simmons or some other player that the Steelers are looking at. And they're saying, we'll throw in Kevin Dotson along with a day 3 pick, and that's what's going to get the deal done. Something like that might be the case for Kevin Dotson, who, you can make the argument if he's traded elsewhere, he could still start in the National Football League. And for some of these teams out there, like Arizona, maybe the Washington Commanders, if they want to go out and get a Chase Young trade, get a deal done for him, you could possibly send Kevin Dotson there because both the Commanders and Cardinals need an offensive guard desperately right now because their offensive lines are terrible. They definitely need interior offensive line help, and Kevin Dotson could theoretically really help them out in that regard. Something to definitely keep your eye on here as the season or as the offseason program goes on. Isaac Seumalo, of course, coming in to replace Kevin Dotson at left guard. You still got Mason Cole and James Daniels, who had the best years of their careers last year. They're staying put. So Kevin just doesn't really seem like he wants to be a Pittsburgh Steeler right now. And I definitely think that what is more likely in this scenario is that Dotson is going to be an add-on in a trade for another player, like for an Isaiah Simmons or a Chase Young, whatever ends up happening. And then the Steelers could keep him for depth as well. Could certainly see that. It definitely seems like he's more of a hostage than a volunteer at this point in time. But, you never really know. He's a good starting capable player. And if something happened to Seumalo, I would want to have Kevin Dotson potentially there to come in relief. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section right now by answering this question. Will Kevin Dotson be a Steeler this year, or will he be cut or traded? Let me know. Type yes if you think he is going to be here this year, or if you think he's going to be elsewhere, type N. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever you get an ad break here, do me a favor, get in the comment section, find that pinned comment, and give me a Y or an N to answer today's question. Number 2 on my list of potential trade candidates, Levi Wallace. Now, I think Levi is a really good player, and I think that he should absolutely be a Pittsburgh Steeler, at least heading into the season. Okay, last year, 62.8 Pro Football Focus grade, about average when it comes to NFL corners last year, but he had 4 interceptions. He made some really nice splash plays. He plays with really good instincts, and I think that he's a good player. But here's the thing, man. He's set to be a free agent in 2024. And if Joey Porter Jr. and Corey Trice Jr. end up coming onto the scene, like we've heard reports that both of them are playing very well in OTAs and at minicamp, then Levi is probably going to be the odd man out here. He's the veteran. You know, the other guys are the younger pieces. They're better fits physically for this press man heavy scheme. And Levi might just be left out in the dust. And there's some teams, you know, the injury bug hits certain teams, and there's going to be teams that need a starting capable cornerback come the trade deadline. And I absolutely think it's possible that Omar Khan could fleece a team in exchange for Levi Wallace, similar to the way that he fleeced the Chicago Bears out of Chase Claypool last year, right? And that ended up getting the Steelers Joey Porter Jr. at the top of round 2. So I think maybe an early day 3 pick is what the value is, what I would put on Levi Wallace right now. But Omar Khan, you never know. A team might be desperate enough to give like maybe a 3rd round pick or something like that for Levi Wallace's services. I think Wallace is a great placeholder while Joey Porter Jr. and Corey Trice Jr. kind of get their feet wet in the National Football League. But if the Steelers aren't really winning games, they're not in playoff contention, and Joey Porter Jr. and Corey Trice Jr., they're ready to go, I think Levi Wallace could be a potential trade candidate come trade deadline time. All right, so I'm going to be revealing the other names here on my list, but if you are a real one and you want to show it to the rest of the world, you can get one of the Real One shirts from Chat Sports on the Chat Sports website right now. Go to chatsports.com/Real One. We got a whole bunch of different colors in this shirt, so you don't have to get black, but I think that's probably the most appropriate for Pittsburgh Steelers fans. I think we have like red, green, some other different colors. You can pick the one that you want. So if you're a real one and you want to show your support for us here at Chat Sports, go to chatsports.com/Real One to get your Real One shirt today. Number 3 on my list, and let me be crystal clear. I do not want Alex Highsmith to be traded, okay, especially before the season. But here is the reality of the matter. He is set to be a free agent in 2024, and he does not have a new deal done just yet. Now, I think a deal will get done, but if it doesn't get done, and the Steelers are bad this year, they're not in playoff contention, and it doesn't seem like they're going to get a deal done with Alex, then you have to consider trading him away for additional draft capital because you need to get something for him before he leaves. Okay, that's just the fact of the matter. Now, I don't think it's going to come to this. I really don't. I think that he's going to get an extension done here within the next couple of weeks. I think it's going to be probably 3 to 4 years. I think he's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler for a long time, and I don't want the Steelers to trade him. Okay, I really don't. But if those two things happen, a deal doesn't get done and it won't get done, plus the Steelers are bad, the Steelers just can't let him walk. They just can't. I don't think that's what it's going to come to, but it is a possibility, which is why he is on this list. Again, big disclaimer. I do not want to trade Alex Highsmith, so I don't want to see anybody in the comments section saying, why do you want to trade Alex Highsmith? I don't. All right, but what I'm saying is, if the situation gets to a point where Alex and the team are not going to come to a deal and the Steelers won't make the playoffs, you got to get something for him before he leaves for nothing. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying this. It's not going to come to that. He's going to get an extension done. Both the team and Alex have said that the negotiations have been going well and that they're close. Okay, so I really do think the extension's going to get done, but until the deal is inked, this is still a possibility, and it makes sense for him to be on this list. So I'm going to be revealing my last player on my trade candidates list here in just a second. But first, make sure you click that thumbs up icon and help out the channel by liking today's video. If you think the Pittsburgh Steelers have an elite pass rush with TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith and Cam Hayward leading the way. Are the Steelers elite? If you think so, click that thumbs up icon. It's a free and easy way to help out the channel. Really do appreciate all the support. All right, and then the final name on my list of trade candidates, Chukwuma Okorafor. And the reason why Chucks is on this list is because right now Dan Moore Jr. is currently competing with him for the right tackle spot. And if Chukwuma Okorafor loses that battle, his contract is very large for a swing tackle. And, if he loses that battle, I'm not sure if Chucks really wants to be a backup. He might want to be traded. Okay, so if that's the case, you can save $10 million in cap space this season by trading him elsewhere. The way that his contract is set up, it's really hard to cut Chukwuma Okorafor, but you can trade him. Okay, so that's kind of the rub on the situation. If you want to get rid of Chuggs, you probably have to trade him somewhere. Probably a 7th round pick is the right value for him, in my opinion, at this point. Probably 7th rounder is what you're probably going to get for him. Okay, he just wasn't he didn't grade well last year. He was the lowest graded offensive lineman on the Steelers, and if he loses out to Dan Moore Jr., his large contract, all these different variables stacking up, I think you'd be pretty lucky to get a 7th round suitor for Chukwuma Okorafor. And, I think that he's probably going to win the job. I don't think the Steelers are going to trade him. I think he's got more experience on the right side than Dan does. All these different factors. I think Chukwuma Okorafor will have his shot at the starting right tackle spot in 2023. But if he loses out, I certainly think he's going to be a trade candidate next season. So to recap here, I got Kevin Dotson, Levi Wallace, Alex Highsmith, and Chukwuma Okorafor as potential trade candidates. I think the only guy that would really be traded before the season is Kevin Dotson. Levi Wallace, Highsmith, and Okorafor. All those guys are dependent on the situation, whether they lose a position battle or a deal doesn't get done for an extension. Those are kind of dependent on those different things happening, but all these guys have a possibility. There's alternate universes out there where all of these guys end up getting traded. Okay, so I want to know from you guys in the comments section, which Steelers player is the most likely to be traded in 2023? Was it somebody on my list? Was it somebody that I left up? Is it maybe Mitchell Trubisky? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section of which Steelers player you think could be traded away this year. All right, guys, if you want more Steelers content from me on social media, you can follow me on Twitter at Jack_Sperry. If you do so, I will give you a shout out on the next Steelers Talk Live show. Really do appreciate all the support, guys. I will see you guys later. And as always, here we go, Steelers. All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cassie. Happy birthday to you. Ow! Get those Cassies in the chat. My girlfriend, Cassie Voth. It's her birthday tomorrow, June 15th.
She's turning 18.
No, she's not turning 18. That's funny, though. No, we're going out to dinner tonight. It's going to be a good time. So just wanted to give a quick shout out to you, babe. I love you. Happy birthday. So get those Cassies, get those happy birthdays in the chat. All right, man. We're done with our segments. Okay, we've said happy birthday to Cassie. Now we're starting to get to the point in the show where it's up to you guys. All right, as long as the super chats keep flowing, we are going to stay live. So here's what I'll say. Everything still applies on the super chat menu. We're gonna put a timer of 2 minutes on the clock. If we get $50 more, we'll put another 2 minutes on, or another 5 minutes on. All right, so 2 minutes are now on the clock. This is what you guys can get. $5, we'll do a Here We Go Steelers chant. 10, we'll spin the wheel.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
And then $20 is an automatic Bean Boozled. We got a ton of these beans, and they suck. We've already eaten a bunch of them. I think we're probably going to be raising the price next week, man, because these things are terrible. But take advantage of it while you still can, my man.
I had to go wash my mouth out.
Yes, I got mints. I got mints at my desk. We're definitely gonna be eating those, man. But all right, dude, we got 1:20 left. Who wants to join Steelers Talk Gold Club? It's not too late. Oh, we got $2 from Zeno.
Oh, my guy.
You could trade TJ to Cowboys if you want, Jack. So Zeno's a Cowboys fan. You know what?
If only the Cowboys had the opportunity to draft him, that would have been nuts. Like, if the Cowboys had a chance to draft him.
If only they could have gotten TJ Watt, in the first round.
Dude, yeah. I mean, apparently the guy they got is pretty good, though.
Yeah, he's all right.
Taco?
Taco's great.
Taco Charlton?
Taco's awesome, man. You guys definitely picked right there, but hey, it led you down the road to Micah Parsons, so I guess it's not all bad. Appreciate the $2 super chat, Zeno. Thank you for stopping by. We got 34 people in the chat. We added a new member to Steelers Talk Gold Club, Anthony Fuller. We are not worthy. King Yinzer. Appreciate your support, my friend. I'm glad to hear that you're out of the field. That's awesome, man.
I gotta know.
Thank you for your service again, dude. You're a great hero to the country.
Obviously, it's Cassie's birthday.
Yep.
Do you know what kind of cake she likes? And also, what is your go-to birthday cake?
So she really likes cookie cake.
Cookie cake?
Yeah. She likes cookie cake. For me, I like, so there's a specific cake that I really like. It's Bunny's coconut cake at the Canadian Honker in Rochester, Minnesota. Okay, so shout out Rochester. That's my hometown, and like it's right next to the Mayo Clinic, the world famous hospital.
Oh, Cassie said that's not her favorite.
What? Chocolate cake is her favorite from Portillo's. That's her favorite cake. I'm pretty sure I'm getting that one right.
We'll have to see.
Zion says pineapple upside down cake.
Wait, what is your cake? Damien said, uh-oh.
Damien, that was funny. No, but so it's coconut cake. So it's like regular vanilla cake with really, really vanilla frosting. It's like the best vanilla frosting I've ever had. And they put coconut shavings on top. Delicious cake.
Oh, wow.
Like it's world famous because it's right next to the Mayo Clinic. Bunch of celebrities have eaten there and stuff. Like, yeah, if you ever go to Rochester, Minnesota for whatever freaking reason, I hope not, because either you or somebody you know is really sick. But like, if you end up going to the Canadian Honker, get Bunny's coconut cake.
I've had 7-Up cake before, Damien. Very good.
We got a couple more super chats here. Let's roll through those. Zeno came in again. Said Jeremy is awesome, and so is Jack. I think he says, love your work. Thank you, Zeno. You are a real one. Appreciate you supporting the entire company. It's actually a pretty cool profile picture that he's got, too. And you got Rob Nizer with a $10 super chat. So we spin the wheel one last time here. Says, how comfortable are you with the inside linebacker position as of today? I'm relatively comfortable. I'll say this, Rod. It's not going to make or break the Steelers' defense. It's not. Okay, so linebacker is the most inconsequential position on the field on defense, and the Steelers have an elite pass rush and an elite, well, maybe not elite, but really good secondary. Okay, you got an elite free safety. We'll see how Patrick Peterson, Joey Porter Jr. do all these things this year, but it's definitely the weak spot on the Steelers' defense right now. But I think Landon Roberts and Cole Holcomb and maybe even Mark Robinson, they're going to be just fine, and the defense is going to be elite with or without them.
Cassie said ding, ding, ding to the Portillo's chocolate cake.
Yes. I know she likes cookie cake. She does really like cookie cake.
Was their chocolate cake good whenever you went? You said the other stuff wasn't good.
The Portillo's?
Yeah.
Well, we've had it before.
No, I'm saying like the one whenever you got it. You said everything wasn't good. Did y'all get the chocolate cake?
We did.
Was it good?
And it was disappointing for Portillo's cake.
Really?
Yes.
Was it dry or?
I can't remember
why.
Like
stale?
I can't even remember why. It just wasn't great. But I just remember Cassie sitting there and she was really disappointed. Or they didn't have chocolate cake that day. That's what it was. That's why she was so bummed. It's because they didn't have chocolate cake. And we had terrible burgers and fries and milkshakes. And it just didn't feel like a Portillo's trip. Because usually you go and you're like, yeah, this food was amazing. Oh, okay. So we got one more spin for you here, Rod.
We gotta get out of here before Sperry gets in more trouble.
Yes, absolutely. I got a dinner to get to tonight, so let's see. Please not another bean. No, me. Come on. Come on. Ah! Yes. Chuggs is getting slapped to finish off the show.
Dude, it could not be more close.
It was literally like a sliver away. That's what you get for me getting the bean like 7 times last show. That's what you get, my friend. Oh, we got a $5 coming in here from Zeno. So we'll get to the slap here in just a second.
I'll go get that.
I'll answer your $5 super chat here, Zeno. It says one last one for you guys here. Let's see if you two can make an agreement on this one. Eagles starter for a Steelers starter. Who would it be? I mean, do you want to go get the tortilla while I think about that? Yeah. We'll strategize here. We'll be the Steelers war room in here while he goes gets the. It's like they're both have good rosters. They're both weakest position. So this is kind of a weird fit, Zeno, because Philly and Steelers, they're very similar roster builds because, Omar Khan, well, Andy Weidel, I should say, comes from Howie Roseman's Philadelphia Eagles front office. So they have the same team-building philosophy. Neither team has great linebackers, but, we're not going to trade linebackers here. I'm not sure if we're going to come to an agreement here, man. I'm really not sure. Trying to think. I see Zion saying Slay for Trice. I would take that any day. A.J. Brown for Diontae Johnson. I would absolutely take that. I mean, A.J. Brown would be just awesome. Wouldn't he? In the Steelers uniform? He is one of the strongest wide receivers, really good at crossing routes. Now, Matt Canada needs to call crossing routes, but man, that'd be fun. I'm just not sure if we're going to come to a deal here, man. What do you guys think? Mailata for Chuck. Oh, that's not a bad one, Zion. Mailata for Chucks? Oh, yeah, that's right. Mailata had a great season last year, didn't he? He's like a top 5 left tackle. Yeah, he's really good. Okay. I forgot that he struggled out of the game. My brain was stuck on 2021 there.
I mean, if they're not for the same position, I would say
this is going to be hard, man. Is there a position where is there any players that they might just trade away for like a draft pick? Or is there any players that they might want from the Steelers for a draft pick? That might be the best way to go about this. Because a player for a player trade is going to be tough.
Darius Slay and A.J. Brown.
So this is blockbuster territory here.
Darius Slay and A.J. Brown.
Can they hear you?
No.
Okay.
Darius Slay and A.J. Brown for Diontae Johnson and
No, not Minka. Because what are you going to do with Joey Porter Jr. and Corey Trice? We'd have Slay and Patrick Peterson. And then, you don't have... Then you got DeMonte KZ and Keanu Neal.
You move Patrick Peterson to safety?
No. Never played safety. No, Chuggs. I don't think we're going to come to a deal, man. Yeah, Hargrave is gone, Rob Nizer. All right, so time for a slap. I'm going to put another 2-minute shot clock on here. If we don't get a super chat in the next 2 minutes, you look so short. He's like 5'10", right? Are you 5'10"?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 6'5". Okay, so that's why he looks like super tiny. All right, here we go. You ready? This is a floppy tortilla. Okay.
You need to mess with it to make it more stiff.
Okay.
No.
Want to go again?
Not
No.
really.
I'm not going to go again.
Do it.
All right, here we go. Don't brace. Come on.
Oh.
Are you good?
Shit.
Are you good? Are you good?
Yeah.
This is floppy as hell, man. That's what she said. All right. So you got 2 slaps because the first one was not that bad.
What is the 5 fingers in his face?
Yes. 1 minute left on the clock. If we don't get another super chat, we're going to call it a day. It's been a good show, man. It's been a lot of fun. A couple more Bean Boozleds today. Yeah, Rob Nizer says first one was WWE slap. Yeah, I definitely held back because with the floppiness, I didn't want it to whip on his face.
That's what she said.
Bonk!
All right, last trade offer.
All right, last trade offer.
Last trade offer.
Give it to me, Howie. Bonk.
I'll give you Dallas Goedert Dallas Goedert, and Fletcher Cox for Cameron Hayward and Pat Freiermuth.
No way. There's no way. That is a terrible trade offer. That's terrible. Cam Hayward should have been an all-pro last year, and Freiermuth is like at least a top 6 receiving tight end in the league. Freiermuth is better than Goddard, and then we're getting a terrible...
Wait, you think...
Freiermuth is better as a wide receiver
than Goddard?
Than Dallas Goedert.
Oh, I don't...
If you put Freiermuth on that Eagles team, he is going ballistic. Goddard's good. He is. Freiermuth is better. You have to take into account that Goddard's quarterback play has been so much better than Freiermuth's. We had a geriatric Big Ben, and then you had Mitchell Trubisky and a rookie Kenny Pickett. And he still gets open a ton. That is a terrible trade. Plus, Cox is a million years old. He's not even close to what he once was. Cox out. Like, I would love to see a guy named Cox on the Steelers, just because it would just be great for
You heard it here content. First. Sperry would love to see Cox.
You want to make an L3 of that? All right, man. So the timer went off. I didn't see any super chats. So that's going to be it for today's show, guys. If you are one of the 33 real ones that made it to the end of today's show.
Jalen Hurts for Kenny Pickett and Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Who are your safeties?
That's a good question.
You don't know the Eagles safeties?
One of them is a former Steelers safety.
Well, Terrell Edmonds.
Yeah.
Who's your free safety? Is it Marcus Epps?
No, he left. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson left.
Yeah, I would have wanted Gardner-Johnson, but he's not here.
I think they're rolling.
Anthony Fuller says hell no. So I mean, he's the king here. He runs things around here. So
I think
sorry, man. Hell no. Steelers Talk Gold Club.
Yeah, they're rolling with Reed Blankenship.
Oh, and they are screwed.
And then they drafted Sidney Brown in the 3rd, and then Kayvon Wallace.
I'm hitting the no button. No deal. No deal. I'm sorry, Zeno. We couldn't come to a deal today, man.
Safety is easily the weakest part of the Steelers or the Eagles team.
Eagles going to regress this year?
I mean,
quite a bit.
When you make it to the Super Bowl, it's hard to get better than.
Do you think they won't make the Super Bowl this year?
Yeah, I don't think they'll make it this year.
You think the Niners got it? Because the Niners defense got worse too. The NFC just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
All the good teams are in the AFC, man. Seriously. Like the Jets might be good.
The Jags.
The Dolphins are dangerous if Tua stays healthy. The Jags might be good. Like the Bills are still there. The Bengals are still there. The Chiefs are still there. The Chargers could be pretty good with Kellen Moore coming to town. This could be a bloodbath in the AFC this year.
Lions to the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's not crazy to think, especially if they land Chase Young. They're the betting favorite for Chase Young right now.
I will bet anybody right now, the biggest guarantee that I have for the 2023 season is that there is a 100% chance that no NFC South team will be in the Super Bowl. There's no way.
Okay, I see something here from Damien. It says, Chuggs eat 10 more beans. This is what I'll say.
No.
If someone sends in a 100 piece, I will eat 5, and then you will eat 5. He's looking at me like if someone sends in 100, we'll each eat 5. At the same time. No, not at the same time. I won't go that far. But we will eat 5 beans. Is that a deal? He doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, we might have to just save it for next week.
All right, we'll just have to save that for next week. All right, man. Type real one down in the chat. I want to give some shout outs to the real ones that made it to the end of today's show. Zeno, appreciate you, my man. Damian Roy, Rod Ninzer, Yurza 1 Alpha, Get those real ones in the chat. I want to give some love to all the real ones that made it to the end here. Zion, thank you so much, my friend. Anthony Fuller, King Yinzer. Welcome to Steelers Talk Gold Club, my friend. It wasn't the same without you. We got Rashid Dewan. I hope I'm saying that right, Rashid. Joined 5 minutes ago. Appreciate it, my man. Matt Hyde. Cassie, happy birthday, babe. Thanks for watching to the end.
Hope you get that chocolate cake. Is it specifically Portillo's chocolate cake or just any?
Well,
really...
she just likes chocolate cake, but Portillo's is her favorite chocolate cake.
You guys done with the Bean Boozled?
Yeah, do you want it?
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to get text Bean Boozled.
All right, man. Appreciate all the real ones that made it to the end here. We got to 69 likes, Jeremy Chuggs.
Nice.
That is the way to finish off today's show. Appreciate all the real ones that made it to the end, man. Without you guys, this show wouldn't exist. This is the highlight of our week. So we really do appreciate all the support. And we'll see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in.